Okay, so I would like to try to write f of x is the log of sine of 3x plus 2 all over 7 as a composition of 5 non-trivial functions.
Okay.
So the non-trivial part there
Right.
is, yeah, I just don't want you to do this, where you just go like, okay, well, the first function's just g of x is x, right? Like that just doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
And then the second function is g again. And then the third function is g again. And then the fourth function's g again. And then the last function's f.
Yeah, I see.
Right? Like, this is a total cop-out. I want you to tell me what the 5 steps are, not to say that the 5 steps are do nothing, do nothing, do nothing, do nothing, and then do f. You guys see that? It's not wrong. You guys see that? Like, it's not wrong. It is 5 steps that make f, but it's not 5 non-trivial steps. Cool?
Yeah.
So, what is your first step
Multiply by 3.
in f?
Multiply by 3.
Multiply by 3? Okay, multiply by 3.
And then add 2.
And then add 2?
And then multiply by sine. Oh, I got it wrong.
So close though.
You take the sign of.
Take the sign of it, or do sine
So
to it,
multiply by sine.
not multiply by
Okay, rock
sine.
on.
Because sine is the,
Is a function.
yeah, sine is the name of a function, right? You don't
Fair.
multiply by names,
Fair.
you do names.
Fair.
So we're going to do sine of stuff,
Uh-huh. And then you're going to do...
and then we're going to do
natural log of stuff.
natural log of stuff,
And then divide stuff by 7.
and then we're going to multiply everything by 1 over 7.
So in calculus, is everything like multiplication, and like you can't do division like normal? Because you always say multiply by 1/7, by 1/7. Or
I just really don't like the division operator. Like, I don't like that symbol.
Okay.
You put that symbol on a test or you want those points.
Yes.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
I just don't, I really hate that symbol. It doesn't, it's like the word that I don't like you guys to use about fractions bottom.
Okay.
It's
no.
it just adds confusion for no reason at
Okay,
all.
okay.
Like,
What if you just like didn't do sine natural log? You just kept it, you just multiplied by 7 and just let it be.
oh, like if you didn't have these 2 steps in there,
Yeah, just made it a 3.
you would get a different function. Right? You wouldn't get f because f has built into it a sine and a log. So, how do I write a function formula for the idea of multiply by 3?
I mean, so a of x.
Okay, so you get to pick the name, right?
Yeah.
So call it a of x because it's the first one in here,
It's 3x.
and it's 3x. And then how do you write plus 2 as,
X plus 2, or b of x is x plus 2.
okay, so you give it a name like b of x is x plus 2. And then sine of x,
C of x equals sine x.
yeah, sine already has a name.
Sine of x.
Sine x.
You guys see that? Like sine has a name,
Yes.
it's sine.
So you just say sine of x.
You could write it as c of x equals sine of x.
But it's just nicer to write sine of x.
I'm just gonna leave this sine in there.
Okay.
How about natural log?
Same thing.
Yeah, that thing already has a name. Why would you change its name? How about multiply by a 7?
C of x equals 1/7x.
Yeah, and maybe in keeping with lettering, I would call that e of x. E is a really shit choice for a function name, though.
It is like.
Because
it's
why?
like- Oh, because it means like. I've seen
E's a constant.
Yeah, e is a number.
Yeah.
So saying 2.718 of x is a bad idea,
Yeah.
right? You wouldn't say 2 of x. So I'm going to call that one,
G.
I'm going to call that one Bill.
Bill of x. That's fun.
Okay? Like, you can name it whatever you want. I don't care. And I don't actually care if you go through and rename sine and log either.
Okay.
But what I want you to get is this order right. So when we're writing f as a function, which thing comes first?
A of x. Multiplication.
Oh, that's right. It's a of x and
So
then
a of x
b
comes
of
first, you have to put it in the deepest part of the parentheses.
Okay, so
So you do the
A was the
exactly.
first thing you were doing to an x, right?
So it's the last thing you have to count out.
So you want to do A first.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you just work your way up.
And then I suggest that you work your way out instead of trying to reason through this. So you do A first,
Uh-huh.
then what are you going to do to that?
Add to you're gonna do B.
You're going to do B, right? So you're going to do B to A.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parentheses going to be here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of parentheses. So if you want to eliminate the parentheses, you can use these little circles.
Well,
These are like open multiplication signs.
Okay.
that's true.
And all they mean is there should be a pair of parentheses here, but that gets complicated. So then what should your next one be?
Oh, the next one's gonna be sine.
Yeah. So you should do sine done to b of a of x.
And then natural log into that.
And then log done to that.
And then bill.
And then bill done to that.
Bill of natural log of sine b of a x.
Yep. Cool. So the answer to this problem, right, the composition of 5 non-trivial functions is this part and also these definitions.
Oh, yeah.
You guys see that? So it's there's two things here, right? There's a writing out of an order in which stuff happens and a telling me what that stuff is actually doing.
The bubble thing is a lot. So
Yeah, the bubble thing is a nice way to keep everything organized.
also the answer you want is the function separated and then the
Yeah, so the answer I want is the function written out as a composition and the definitions of anything you name.